Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-host Byrne. And today we got some news going over some contract stuff regarding some new entry-level deals that have been signed today, as well as an extension that just happened a few moments ago before we recorded this. And a coach has praised Connor McDavid. I mean, at this point, I think everybody should. And before we get in this video, though, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of our content, because we're going to be having a lot of stuff coming soon, coming throughout the year, coming with the playoffs, the draft, free agency, and stuff soon. So it's going to be very exciting. And we noticed a lot of you guys aren't. So if you want to keep up to date with what we're posting, make sure to do it. And without any further ado, we're going to get into our first topic here, which just happened, and it's Filip Chytil signed an extension with the Rangers. So this came probably 5 minutes before we just started recording. And, I mean, it's a pretty big one, because it's a Filip Chytil signing 4-year, $4.4 million deal with the New York Rangers. And I like the deal, to be honest with you, because the Rangers, we know, are in a bit of a cap crunch for this season, because they have a lot of expiring deals after bulking up, getting Patrick Kane, we know, Tarasenko for the playoffs run this year. But Chytil is a very integral part of this core going past this year.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the major pieces on the forward side of the forward side of the team. And I mean, he's playing pretty good this season. He's got 42 points in 66 games played. It's not a bad line, because we know he's not going to be playing top 6 on the team at the moment. Not this season, he's not going to be playing. So 22 goals and 20 assists for probably a third liner this year, second liner if you need him. That's fantastic. And especially going forward, I think it's a very, very big move for the Rangers to be able to lock him up for 4 years, then reevaluate after those 4. What do you think about this deal, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it kind of just happened, so this is kind of a bit of an initial reaction. But like you said, love the deal. You know, he's relatively young, gives them a bit of security down the middle for years. You know, like you said, you got guys like Tarasenko and Kane who are on UFA, who are got 1 year left. So at least they get a little bit of security there. So love the deal.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Like it's good for the future. That's what the Rangers, I think, should be looking at a bit. I know they got to focus on their playoff run this year, but their future is also important because they still do have a very young team outside of a few guys like that, like the Canes and the Tarasenkos. So getting Chytil, I think, should just be the start of what they have to do for locking up this core for the future. And I think it is a very good move to make that at this point in the year.
It is. Yeah.
Gives them a nice boost going into the playoffs. No, we got to earn his right for that money. You know, get the feeling it's like they trust me. I'm going to play good in the playoffs. We're going to get this. We're going to win.
I think last year he had a really, really good playoffs. If I'm not correct, he had, I think they played 20 games or something, and he was almost a point per game, which is crazy for a third line center.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially getting that momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
you can't ask for more. And with our second topic here, we have someone whose name has been in the news recently, the past week or two after the NCAA, after teams are being eliminated. It's Akito Hirose signing with the Canucks. And this deal's a bit odd because it's a 1-year entry-level deal, and it's at $2.26 million. But it is higher due to it being only 1 year, because all the bonus has to be paid out this year instead of over 3. But the thing is with this one, it's a bit odd coming into it because, you see his stats here. He's a good player, 27 points, 38 games for the Minnesota State. But the thing is that's really weird about it is he cannot negotiate with any other teams. He is a UFA after this season, but he has no UFA rights. He can only sign with and negotiate with the Canucks. He's not an RFA. He can't be offer sheeted. Nothing can work in his favor like that. It's hard to explain without.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
I'll pull up a screenshot here. It's part of a Group 1 or a 10.2C player of the summer. This means that he will have no free agent rights and therefore cannot talk to other teams or accept offer sheets. He can only negotiate a new deal with the Canucks. And I think this is a good deal for the Canucks. I mean, you can't really go wrong with an entry-level deal. The kid looks good. From what I've seen from him, I haven't seen too much, but he does look good coming out of college. I wasn't drafted, so, I mean, you get him, sign him, you can see what he does if the end of the season, see what he is, get him in the practice, get him going in through some reps, see what he can do. He looks good from what I've seen in college, and he also has a brother under term in Detroit, Taro Hirose, I believe. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think so. Yeah,
I think it's a good deal for the Canucks. I mean, you can't really go wrong. It's 1 year entry level. See what he does after, and then just go from there.
I'm a bit confused they're essentially paying him $2.5 million or $2 million for 10 games in the season. I don't know. I don't really understand it. I don't know. It doesn't really sit well in my head. So in terms of like the player, great young guy to add to a Canucks team. You know, they're kind of wanting to rebuild, kind of build around their young guy. So he's the perfect guy to bring in there. He looks like he could be a pretty solid rock there on the blue line for the Canucks.
Yeah, and like here's the little update for what it was. It's 2.026 mil, so essentially 2 million
Okay.
for the 15 days remaining in the season. But like I said a minute ago, it will only be able to negotiate for the Canucks. Like he can only sign with the Canucks again, so it's basically just an RFA with no offer sheet. So he's still basically under the rights, just like as if he didn't sign a contract. I think just kind of this move is just to secure him, so they can have the flexibility this offseason to be able to do what they want with him. So and the 2.26 is just basically the 3 years. It's his base salary of 850K plus the signing bonus and what else would have been over the 3 years. But since it's a 1 year, has to be just paid all up front as if it was 3 years. So that's just the basic.
So weird.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I haven't really, and it's been happening a lot this season. It's been happening a lot with the past few days. It's like some guys. I know there's someone in Nashville. I'm not sure his name, but signed a 1 year as well. So I guess it's just kind of securing the rights to those players, getting them be able to have the flexibility to work with them in the off season. You know, just to have the rights for them essentially. So yeah, it's. I think it's a good move for the Canucks. He's good.
Yeah, it is
solid. He's going to be good in that system. I think what they have, the younger, not right now because we know they're in a bad place right now. But going into the future, I mean, they got Aturati, Anthony Beauvillier. I think it's a good move for them.
Yep.
And with our final topic here today, we have Connor McDavid has received praise from the competition. Now, I mean, this isn't a player. It's Paul Maurice. So it is still the competition, but not direct. But, I mean, at this point, you can't not praise Connor McDavid from what he's done. Paul Maurice goes on to say, the numbers Connor McDavid is putting up will just distance himself from anybody else in the Hart Conversation Trophy. Poor Leon can't even get his name in the paper. He's got 100 points, and he's anonymous. And I mean, I can't agree with Paul Maurice more. There are several people this season, who could be in the Hart conversation if Connor McDavid was not a hockey player. It's just, the numbers he's putting up is absolutely insane. He's put 75 games played. He's got 143 points, 60 goals, 83 assists. That's unheard of. But going on to that as well, the Oilers this year became the first team to feature to record three players with 60 plus assists in a season since the 95-96 Penguins with Ron Francis 92, Mario Lemieux at 92, and Jágr at 87, which is also absolutely ridiculous. That's just you won't even hear about that in nowadays, but Paul Maurice is exactly right. I'm also going to pull up the top 10 leaders in stats this year about what he's talking about. Leon Draisaitl has 116 points, 47 goals, and 69 assists, and I wouldn't even say he'll get a first place vote for a Hart Trophy. That's absolutely ridiculous. What do you think about this, Noah? There's not really much you can say.
The fact that he's putting up those numbers and, like you said, not even going to get a Hart nominee, that was kind of eye-opening to me. You know, Leon Draisaitl is obviously a cornerstone player. He's a franchise player. And, you know, going back to putting up those numbers, and I can't even begin to start on how unfathomably good Connor McDavid is. You know, and look at those guys, like you said, going back to the three players with 60 assists. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you know, everybody was saying he was a bust, and everybody's saying he wasn't going to live up to the expectations. But, you know, playing with Connor McDavid and playing on a line with Connor McDavid, he's got, I think it's 96 points. So that proves even more how much better Connor McDavid is. Yeah,
the impact he has. And I forgot to mention those three players as well were McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent-Hopkins. So I'm not sure if Draisaitl or Nugent-Hopkins is there. Yeah, Nugent-Hopkins is 61, Draisaitl has 69, and McDavid has 83. That's incredible. And it just shows you right exactly how McDavid can impact anybody he plays with. Anybody he plays with will instantly get a major boost in their play style. I mean, even without McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins is still just a fantastic hockey player, especially with that team. That team that gels very, very well, and they play very good together. And it just works. But McDavid at the forefront of all that as well is just I think it's a cheat code. You can't really do much about it.
Yep.
Yeah, and we also posted that on our Instagram earlier today. If you want to go check that out, I will leave a link to that in the description. But that's all we have for this video, guys. So if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because we're going to have a lot more content coming your way throughout the rest of the season. The playoffs are starting soon. It's going to be very exciting to go through that. We're going to have playoff mock performances, mock playoffs, and we're going to have like everything, highlights of all of it. It's just going to be very fun. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that, and thank you for watching.